talk about a healthy church, growing church is a working church, and also last Sunday we talked about church is a learning church. It is necessary for a Christian to really learn God. I don't know in your personal level, I don't know how you do it, how you work for the Lord, how you learn God in your personal lives. And we thank the Lord for those who are really working hard to know God, and especially mga couple kada pabinahon na ay learning together. Grabe na ka. Imagine a Christian husband and wife learning together for of course benefit. They will grow together in the Lord. But it's necessary. Again, I don't know how you do it in your personal life, but I hope that you are doing well in your as you serve the Lord. Now, this morning we will talk about a healthy church is an evangelistic church. Okay? This is one of the topics na i-deal ni Peter Master sa iyong book, The Policy of the Church. This must be one of the policy that being a church, a local church, we have to be evangelistic. It's a shame to be called under evangelical churches, evangelical church, but you are not evangelistic. So this is something that we have to look at this morning. The question is, what do you think? I'm going to ask this for you in your observation. What do you think the problem of churches today, nowadays, regarding evangelism? What's wrong, or what went wrong? What happened? Based on your observation, based on what you know, let's say church and in relation to evangelism, what do you think the problem is?
Hindi nila nasabutan ang gospel.
Yes, one factor is an ignorance of the gospel. They may grow in the church for a long time, but they don't really have a full grasp what the gospel. That's why they don't know how. So that's one of the aspect na makita na to. Another,
Hyper-Calvinism.
okay, we will deal that later, okay? That because there is an issue behind an hyper-Calvinism.
But, kung din nyo talaga matungkol isumpay na ako mong pati aljub na kuhaan ka na wala sila ay iwan ba ignorant sa gospel kay kung ignorante ka sa gospel, wala ka kabalo sa bad news. So kung wala ka kabalo sa bad news, kung kayo nasabtan ang bad news, ang wrath of God, ang holiness ni God, so you will feel na wala katungkuan, hindi ka makafeel urgency to spread the gospel, to share the gospel.
Okay, that's a good point. Like halfway, you understand one side, but you don't understand really what the love of God. You understand the love of God if you understand what is the problem. So that's good observation. Have you observed na very low tayo ang movement when it comes to evangelism sa churches, especially some called the very traditional churches. There are some movement karon nga grabe ang ilang discipleship. We understand that, okay? But there's also we have to be careful also on that. We're not saying that it's wrong, but we have to be careful. Ang uban po, wala kahimo. Muna ang problema. Now, it is necessary to identify and understand the problem so that we can apply proper solution. That may be also our problem. Why? Daghan man factors na nganong kuan ba't katong gipangsulti do tinuod no? Now, Peter Master shared his observation. We have to, I think, in my opinion for kung nagpastor ka sa usa ka church nga very kanang ilado nga church, nga sa time ni Charles Porter, grabe yun grabe ang growth, grabe ang gospel na time na based sa yung observation, may ito na siya valid observation. Ingon siya, over 50 years. In other words, he's talking sa iyang observation na pantayan niya. Kaya mura man siya, usa sa mga leaders sa Britain, Great Britain, London, Europe area. Sila ni ang mga mga leaders. Buhay pa niya siya. Over 50 years, countless, he said, countless churches have been lost the gospel. So from maingnon ta Reformation, grabe ka boom, napagito mga Puritans, grabe na spread yung ayo ang gospel, and 1800 mga early 90s, okay pa, mission, grabe pa mission, naabot pa ganito diri sa Philippines, grabe ang evangelization. Later on, murag ni Juan, based sa yung observation, ingon siya na wala, na dili get totally lost. He's talking about general, in a general sense. Churches were closed. Dili man siguro sa ato, pero sa ila, sira gyud. Imagine ba, very gospel evangelistic church, and then sila kalit. That's the factor. One of the factor na wala na ang gospel. Wala na ang witness. Not much, okay. And of course, ang observation niya limited again dito sa Europe area, the Great Britain. Now, he said that many of the faithful congregation that remain have dwindled. Diminish ba? Kanang murag kaka-less sila ba? Become less. They were faithfully doing, pero kaka murag may lang kung sinig panganak ang mga member sa church kay dagan biologically, dagan ka panimba, pero kay kung limited report ang ilang pagpanganak dito na mugamay yun sila, no? ingana ang kuan naman niya po yung mga kuan, pero gamay. Some yielded to church growth gimmickry. We know this. Like charismatic worship, understand that. I think he is referring to the church really more on very chaotic, and then entertainment. Entertainment evangelism in the hope that this will save the day. Now, what he wanted to communicate was that churches were trying to have some form of evangelism. But not an evangelistic church. It's not really. They have, like, sa program naman ay budget, siguro sa church naman ay program, ang pinaka-number-one niya, siguro, okay, Christmas kantata. Paanda ko kay budget. Pag-abot sa evangelism, very gamay kayo, wala, gana ba? Okay, singit na ng evangelism aning Christmas kantata. It's not, it's more on entertaining people. Well, inuta na dili man nato malimitahan ng gawon sa Diyos. Gamit mo gyapon siya any means. Pero dili na mao ang kuan ba, ang drive ba. just to let people see kung sa ka-extravagant ang inyong pagkanta diha, pagdrama, and wala di ay gospel. Very less than gospel. At lang mga tao para ma-entertain. Now, let's look some verses. Very kind of familiar verses. Matthew 28:19. Sige, assign ako Errol, please read this. 28:19. Pwede ka, Engineer Alden, please. Romans 1:8. And Kurt, okay na ka? 1 Corinthians 9:16. 1 Corinthians 9:16. Sige, please. So,
Matthew 28:18.
18:19 na. Go.
And Jesus came up and spoke to them, saying, All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Romans 1:8.
Romans 1:8. First, I thank my God through Jesus Christ for you all, because your faith is beginning to reign throughout the whole world.
Okay, Kurt. 1 Corinthians 9.
For if I preach the gospel, I am traveling to the spot, for I am under compulsion. For who is me, I will not preach the gospel.
Okay. Now, I understand that there are many verses. Usa sa mga gi-mention niya sa iyang book is kaning 1 Corinthians, kaning si Paul. Woe is me if I do not preach the gospel. But I also consider this one. Now, Matthew 28:19 has been interpreted for a long time that this is the Great Commission. Giving this great command to make disciples. And understand that the main verb is the word make disciples. Romans 1:8 talks about the Church of Rome. Paul is talking about the Church of Rome when he said that I thank my God through Jesus Christ for all of you. That's all of you. He's talking about the church, local church in Rome. Because your faith is being proclaimed throughout the whole world. This time maybe he's talking about the entire Roman Empire, that people really, Rome is really sharing the faith. Now, ang context ani sa chapter Romans chapter 1 sa 8 paingon sa 16, Paul talks about preaching the gospel. So when Paul said your faith is being proclaimed throughout the world, that means what? What's the subject of your faith? Christ, the gospel. And in verse 16, English, for I am not ashamed. He's talking to them. I am doing also as you are doing this, or what you have done in your particular place. I am doing also. I am not ashamed of the gospel. I preach Christ, the gospel of salvation, because it is the power of God. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God for salvation. So there's context of gospel preaching, evangelization. In a personal level, I would say si Paul diri murag kuan ba, universal command, every disciple, Christian. And then there's also an example of the local church that they're also doing gospel. And even Paul, muna gigamit niya, for I For if I preach the gospel, I have nothing to boast of, for I am under compulsion. For woe is me if I do not preach the gospel. What he is saying, what this verse is saying to us is that gospel preaching should be our burden. Di pwede. Ngayon, detach din nato sa atong mga kinabuhi. As a church, as individual, we have to have a participation regarding sharing the gospel, regardless of what is going on. Say, may mo ni excuse ang situation nato sa COVID-19. Yes, we understand, we don't deny that, but regardless, we have to preach the gospel. Now, all believers are witness of the gospel, whether universally, the universal level, local church level, and even personal. That's what the text. Dagan pa kayong mabasa na to. Now, listen to this. This is very important. If it is correct that every Christian is a witness of Christ, if that's correct, if you, kita may kuhan, may nga, no, that's not correct. Kita may if you agree, if this is correct, that every Christian is a witness of Christ, then it is sinful for being a Christian and not witnessing the lost for Christ, about Christ. It is not only wrong, but wrong and sin. I would say sinful. It is sin. Kung saan gani ang sin? Kung saan ang definition nato sa sin? Hammer theology. Hammer ba? Doctrine of sin. What's the basic one yun definition of sin? Missing the mark. Lack of what? Conformity to the will of God. So, lack of conformity of the Great Commission is what? You know the answer. It's a sin. It's disobedient. Now, we understand that I'm not talking only you. I am also talking of myself. I'm guilty. Na ato'y joker kayo kay extension mi sa balay ba namigit sa baho sa luyo sa among balay may panday unya grabe ang istorya kung ang trabaho siya tabang ko ginagmay pero grabe ang istorya kapalo mo everything maya ginako kay nakainom ko nga mas share na ko siya sa pulo sa Ginoo na ako balay ako grabe ang akong time sa iya, pero nakainom ko itong sira na ko siya. Nanak ko sa balay, nakauling na ko. That's my prayer. Kung makabalik ko dito sa Dabilag, hopefully. That's my goal. Pwede maka-share. Pulo sa Ginoo. Who knows? Ginoo mag-build na po itong another church plant dito. Nakapalo. But now, the only way to stop this sinfulness, do you agree? To claim as a Christian and not sharing being a witness of Jesus Christ is sinful to you? Do you like? I think this is a little bit hurtful to magkiwatalaan na dali. I understand that. Bisan ako galing, inuupan ko kay ang guilt niya. Medyo, nakitaan ko na, anak ko nakitaan ko na. Kay, usahay, dili na ito i-deal ang ikuan, dili na ito i-deal ang sin. Mo gini pinaka-root cause, ani? Anong dili tamang kuman? Because we don't deal that this is simple. Now, the only way to stop this sinfulness is to start telling others about it. course, we know the pure, real gospel. We are not talking about halfway gospel like God loves you. Yes, God loves people, but we have to deal the real issue of man, the depravity of man. That man is sinful and rebellious against God. And then we understand that. Okay. Any thought, any question so far? That it is really something wrong. I would say that there's something wrong. Why? Ingon gani si Peter Master, why? Why? Oh, why? What happened? What went wrong to the church?
Share lang gamay, Pastor. Siguro, parang yun siya, kaya ano, first and foremost, according pa sa usap about, dili mong preach the gospel una sa atong self. Then how can we preach the gospel to others without preaching others first? Without preaching it first to ourselves, di ba?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Ato manggong nature good, subject sa principle of self-preservation and self-sufficiency. We think we look at ourselves na okay na, and how can we kanang tanaw sa uban nga okay ay kanang bitang unsa man nato pag-identify sa ilaw ba kung nga sinners sila when first dili sa ato nagsugod ang pagtan-aw nga sinful pud ita. We're still practicing sinners, bisan Christians na ta, and we need to preach the gospel to ourselves every day.
Yes, that good. That good reminder na usahay gusto ka mag-preach, but you are not well acquainted, you are not very equipped, or murag ingana ang kuan munang dili kayo bold, ang imong dili kayo ang conviction nimo medyo luya ang conviction sa gospel tungod kay dili nimo binapid imong self. That's a good advice. That's a good one. Ito na. Reminder. Reminder. Okay. Mga implications. I would say implications. Adding up mga verses. Every believer is called to be a witness. This is very important to understand as a Christian. We are called. Natay tagsa-tagsa ka gifts or kanang we are gifted as a church. Naman tay one, how you work, how you contribute. Pero tanan, kami, pastors, siya gani, ingon siya nga, kamong mga pastor ha, dapat reminded per me, ani, kaya muna yung trabaho. Ha? Muna itong trabaho, muna yung trabaho. Ang problema usahay, muna katong gidil lang to, usahay ang pastor may problema. Wala kahit passion, wala kuan. Although na ay priority, di man yung mga daily priority ang evangelism. But we are more on preaching, teaching, prayer. But that doesn't mean we don't evangelize. We are also called to witness. But primarily, ang aming focus is kung anong wala may kuan. Because it may be the problem with us. Or if sometimes we preach the gospel, we encourage you, but the problem also is you. There's a unang kwan, pero unang ibutang yun niya, pinaka-burden ka mo yun. Paninglon yung mga ginawa na. So, every believer is called to be a witness of Christ. Make disciples. Make disciples, that's a command. That the subject implies that primarily the 11 disciples, but that's extended to every believer. That every believer of Jesus Christ is the witness of called to be a witness of Christ. Meaning, all believers have responsibility to make disciples. Ay, usa ka church nga, suko kayo sila kay for 10 years. Huwag yun nila nakita ng pastor nga, share sa gospel. But anyway, ilaha man na. Mamunday ko pero sila po, wala po kayo. Ano ba, ligrapo sila ng pastor, pero sila wala po kayo. Actually, ang kaning calling is for everybody. Don't look at, wala mangyari sa kayo mo. Dili na lang kumuhi mo eh. Ano ba? Kung nakadepende ang imo paghimo sa kuan. Pero of course, ang leaders also be a model. We will discuss that later. Now, listen to this. There's a great difference between being called to witness and witness because of program. Na ay kalainan na, okay? Sometimes church have evangelistic program where Christian can participate as a church together, participate to do evangelism. Di ba yung alat ha? Example, the Grace Baptist Church, wapata nagbalin diri. Before we go out every third Sunday for evangelism at the park. And that's good. It's good to have that. But the problem is, program may change. For whatever reason. Ang rason na to, because sa una magod, usa tag parento. Di na ito mulig balay. Kanya, na-discipleship ko, wala may discipleship kung magawas tayo ba? Pag umaparento, paulay lang may medyo paalanin-landong ito na din tag-park. Together, dilit ang kuwan. Kapag balin na ito dire, na-change. Kay ulit mamanta, niyang uwan, kapuyan na kuwan. So, we understand that. Now, una ang disadvantage sa program. You may have program in the church of evangelism, but muna difference. The point is that program is changeable, but calling never change. Regardless of the change of program in the church, you have to witness. You have to be a witness because you are not dependent on the program. You are dependent on the calling. So, pag witness din mo, you are thinking that I am called to witness. It's not because programs at church. Well, we have to have like evangelistic time in our as a church. But we don't depend on that. Sometimes na ay mga changes pero ang pagtawag sa Ginoo to make disciple is permanent. Never change. Once you become believer, converted as a Christian, then you have to do it. Whether there is a program or in bad situation or in season and out of season. Muna siya dapat masaktan na to. Usahay, ang nasaktan na sa Kristuhan yung wala may program doon. Magpinaganahan si pastor nga magkuhanda, mag-evangelism ta. So, wala saktan. No. Muna ang problema. I think that's one of the problem sa mga churches karon. Very dependent. Structured kayo. Ang ilan lang una-una sa Sunday, as sa third Sunday is evangelism. Okay, evangelize mo po, but it's not really. How about wala na? Can you function as a witness of Christ? Kung dili mo masabtan So every believer is called to be a witness of Christ. Another implication, animal verses there is that to witness Christ is to show compassion for the lost. That really, I would say, inseparable. You cannot just witness because you have to, but to witness is to re-echo. You have to re-echo the heart of Christ. Na mga ingon ng mga kuwan na this is the heartbeat of God. Great Commission. We have to re-echo. We have to, so as God show His compassion for His people, for us, then we have to do it. So, as a believer, at the same time, to witness Christ is to show compassion for the lost. This is more on the desire, conviction. You are not only called, but you are convicted to share. Christians are not heartless for the dying sinners. Mga kaigsunan, niabot ang gospel sa imo tungod sa tao nga naghatag higayon sa imo. Naluwas ka, although God really the one who saved us, but He used me, He used the message, He used people to share Him. Dili unta maundang sa imuha ang gospel sa ako. Kung kinasave na ko, and that's, no, we have to continue. Dili na to, Isaiah 53:6, all of us like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has turned to his own way, but the Lord has caused the iniquity of us all to fall on Him. All of us, mga kaigsunan ng grasya, rin Ginoo, ay nasave kita. We turn into our own way, to His own way. Kita yan. Very, very good. Di kita. No one seek God. No one understand. But God really struck His providential work, His providential. The moment nga paingon ka sa impyerno, ay mong kinabuhi, boom, something happened. And because someone, dili man ta maingon, mo na ginako gingon katong maestra na nag-share sa ako, di ko kalimutan to. 10 years old. Bato, tulumi ka po, pero sagit to sa mga nainuduman ako mga grabe. Ma'am, kay kuan man, kanang recess, itawag mo niya, ikaw mo diya, lagi mo tabi na, dali mo dali. Sinunod niya. I heard the gospel. You are a sinner and you need to save you. Very simple presentation of the gospel. And bisan na maliyat ko, di wapag ako nag-grow ang one, and then later on, I still go back to the time na sa bisan sa seminary na ko, dito na nag-grow ang akong knowledge sa Ginoo. Pero, nung balik yung ko ato nga time, dili man siguro ko katong time na luwas ko, pero nakadungo ko, klaruan ko ito. Very simple. You're a sinner. You are going to hell. Christ died for you. Very simple. Acts 16:31. Believe on the Lord. This is one of your verse. Very simple. Listen, but really, one good. Dili ta kanang atong kasing-kasing tungkol ba? Very hearted. Pag-abot sa mga kuhan, wala. Sila nag-share ka sa ato. Diba? When we are dying, lost, and now, by the grace of God, we found Christ. The congregation should have a deep sense of witnessing the lost. is imo gina. We have to be watch from time to time. We have to watch ourselves. Am I doing this? We have to check ourselves. Kasi dagan na kayo wasted. Si Spurgeon na siya ito, tingnan siya. To be a soul winner is the happiest thing in this world. Experience ba na mo? Have you experienced one time na mong kinabuhi nga nakagisiran and then naluwas and then nangalagad sa Ginoo? The joy, ingon siya, that there's something in sharing, being a witness, soul winning. So maybe the reason why nga very dry kay atong kinabuhi, there's no joy because we lack evangelism. So you are not excited of your Christian life because you don't do this. You're not happy anymore. Maybe that's one of the reasons why ang mga Christian wala gyud lami ang Kristohanon. Mas lami pa mag biking or unsa lang mga mas lami pa mag hiking unsa mga habit ibot. Why kalipay? So this is the one the soul winner is the happiest thing in this world. Do you agree, Ali? I think so. The more you share the gospel, the more you joy or the more you become happy. That's a good thought. Now, hyper-Calvinism, this is the misconception. I would say this, misconception. Doctrine of election and the sovereignty of God. Mga galing mga Reform hyper-Calvinist. God elect, why preach? God is sovereign, He is the one who will save. Now why waste your time of preaching? Siya na magyapon na magluwas. That's the misconception. And that would lead to careful kita. We have to be warn ourselves. The kaya mag-lead this ato to hyper-Calvinism. So, dili na dayon ta magwalik kung sa Ginoo. The reason, yes, election is in the Bible. God is sovereign. There's no question of that. But the way God saved the elect people is through the preaching of the gospel. You have to do that. Una ang one. Now, what are those practical applications? We have to move this. Kaya kung dili din nato ma-address, wala yapon. Sakto na taning cognitive knowledge, kanang intellectual knowledge, dili. It's good to learn a lot of studies, doctrines, and it's good to learn. But we have to move. We have to stand up and act what we have learned. So application. Let's start to the question, how? Maybe this is one of the problems. I have a desire to preach, to share, but I don't know how. It's possible for a Christian. Nga dili lang yun siya kabalo. Na siya. Every Christian na ako na magigkuikuan, pero usahay, overcome ka ba nga? Saan rin ako diskartiya naman? That's one of the problems that we have to address. How? How do you share the gospel? I remember one of the greatest advice akong nadugan. Kita na yung una ni Pastor Barry, you don't know how to witness? Open your Bible. Open your mouth. That's all. What he's saying is that one verse, read, and open your mouth. And leave it to the Lord. You don't know how to do it, then yeah. Or tracts distribution, or you give tracts, or kung wakay tracts, sulat o verse and then give to someone, or text, or whatever means, regardless of the one of the situation, we have to share the message. Kung how, siguro, pastor, taon ako pag-share aning nga tao, ana. Kanino pang barkada ka mo, gusto kini kuan ba? Ka-try mo. Amot kano, tungod siguro sa inyong kuan ba? Pero hindi ka gusto ka, mulahin siya or kuan. Pero, bahala na, no? How? Read the word, open the Bible, read the word, and speak. Ano na kasi po? Bahala. Tiyungin lang sa, when will be the perfect time to share the gospel? What do you think? Next year na po, Pastor. Sure na gandi, Pastor, next year. Sure gandi. Next year. Mama ng COVID. Rakrak ko tayo. When? Regarding the Bible, today is the day of salvation. Now is the perfect time. It may be now, or later, or tomorrow, or this week. Ikaw, nakapaluan na. No? As to when, as the issue to when, whatever time may gihatag sa Ginoo sa imo, you can do that. We can do that. Who? Of course, dili good animal, dili good animal. Who? Anybody? Friends, co-worker. Gani-gani sila, advantage din ng architect Eroda, kaya dami nila yung mga tao, i-putan. Kana, muna yung itawag sa mga captive mission. Natin mo eh. Natin mo. Makita pa ka dito, kaya na kayo mga tao nila. Friend. Do you have friend? Kagrabe ba sa luwag kay amigo? Ha? Mate, anybody, loved one, member of the family. Yan. So, I think practically mo na yung mga dapat ma-address anik regarding evangelism. Do it. We can do it as a local church. We have to do that. We will talk Pastor Dong, but in the personal level, you have to do it. Don't depend sa atong programa sa church. We have to pray. Dagan kay empty. Napay mga empty church din. If God save, then God add. Diba? Peter preached the gospel, and they heard the gospel, and they believed the gospel, and they were baptized, and they were added to it. So, that's the pattern. May naon pa nga Ginoo mga panalangin kaya pulo. Atong mga Ginoo. Let's pray. Lord, thank you Ginoo sa pagtulunan sa imong pulong. Ginoo, pasayloa kami sa mga panahon nga nasayang lang yan, naglabay lang ang mga panahon nga nasayang, wala naman nagamit sa pag-share sa imong pulong, Ginoo. Lord, may you grant us a fervent desire to share the gospel for the dying people, to the lost people. Lord, muna ang purpose namo ng giluwas minimo is to make disciples. And hinaot nga di namin magulat, Ginoo. Naabay programa ang church, wala. Because we are called to preach individually. Salamat kung ang church na ay programa ni. Salamat, that's a good program to evangelize. But individually, we have to work out, and please help us. And kabangi, panalangin yung pulong doon sa mga kasing-kasing. Sa ngalan ni Jesus.